Okay, so yeah, I see you. But anyways, let's talk about Tulsi Gabbard. She's been popping in the media lately. We've been watching a lot of things unfold with not just the corruption of corporate America with YouTube, Google, same thing. Messing with searches and being sued by Tulsi. Then you have the mainstream media outlets, all your favorite daytime TV shows, The View, um, Roland Martin and others, MSNBC, CNN, also hurling these attacks at her without any proof or evidence. And we also see the corruption within the DNC. You saw the wicked witch of the West, Hillary Clinton, come out of the shadows, and she spoke and she said some things that she can't even substantiate, which in the long run don't help the party because you have people who are, running now also defending her, like Andrew Yang came out and defended her. But let's talk about it. I see you, Tulsi. I see you, girl.
A real Trojan horse here because when you look at her record in particular, she's apologized for it, but she was very anti-LGBTQ community. She also has praised Trump for meeting with Kim Jong-un 3 times.
Well, they like her.
She was one of 47 House Democrats who joined her Republican colleagues voting for a measure that would halt Syrian and Iraqi refugees from resettling in the U.S. She's also refused to call Assad a war criminal. And actually,
she refused to do it last night.
She refused to do it last night. And then, per an NBC News report,
Really?
Russian propaganda machines favors Gabbard. So when I look at all of that, I'm concerned that she is attacking Harris, and I'm concerned that she has any traction.
Slightly, there is a chance that Tulsi is not just working for the United States of America, but I digress. So,
Oh, wait a minute.
What does that mean?
That's
no,
a
I
hell of
firmly,
an allegation,
that's not just an allegation. I firmly believe that.
Message is coming now.
No, here I know. Watch the bots come on Twitter now. I firmly believe that Tulsi Gabbard stands on that stage is the antithesis to what the other 11 individuals stand for, especially when it comes to issues such as foreign policy. There is no question.
Yeah.
There is no question that Tulsi Gabbard, of all the 12, is a puppet for the Russian government.
Whoa.
I mean,
That was strong.
how is there no question?
Well, I think that you look at her relationships, doing the bidding, her relationships and affection for people like Bashar al-Assad, her admiring somebody who we know to be a war criminal, propping them up. I think that those are questions that are going to have to be answered.
This will, I mean, obviously with Syria in the news, obviously this will come up tonight. I mean, I don't know that it will be framed the way you are.
I don't think the moderators will frame it as
I
such.
don't either.
That was very strong.
But Syria will.
Party and Tulsi Gabbard, who are going to be on the stage tonight.
Alt-right poster girl?
Yes.
Yes. She's
Russian
Russian
infiltrator.
asset, alt-right poster girl.
Whatever you want to call her. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Whatever.
All right. What
Alt-right poster girl.
who are you?
I have a question. I don't know about that, though. The Trojan horse thing. Maybe I'm paranoid, but, after Jill Stein, I am paranoid.
That's right.
And there is a ton of... there's a lot of writings on it today on Tulsi, and I like Tulsi. I disagree with her vehemently on foreign policy in particular. But I'm seeing people who used to dislike her tremendously now all of a sudden like her.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of writings in things like Russia Today. There's a lot of Russian bot traffic around Tulsi. There's something going on. I suspect it's not knowingly by her because I think she's a decent human being who served this country. But can I tell you why I'm paranoid?
Alrighty, so let's talk about it. So first things first, right? There's a lot of people, a lot of conservatives, a lot of people on the right who are doing these annoying videos. And I don't know, maybe they're not annoying, maybe they are justified. But as far as because Tulsi's got a lot of support from those on the right. So just to start off with saying what happened, I'll start with that though. Basically, because a lot of conservatives are saying oh, we support Tulsi, we like her. It's not like we like her. Like we like her, but we're not gonna vote for her, right? Like when I say, when someone's on Facebook and they're liberals and I know they're on the left, they'd be like, who y'all voting for? And I'm like, I'm not voting for any Democrat. I make that clear first, but I do support, I would vote for Tesla if I were. They get triggered, obviously, but it's amazing seeing how that works. But anyways, it's like she's a useful tool for people. So politics is a game, right? So there's a lot of Republicans and people put money behind Tulsi. Why? Because Tulsi is that outlier candidate. She's the non-establishment type. She's going to call out corporate power, greed, and whatever. And it's beneficial because it makes the other people either put up or shut up, right? If you don't like Kamala Harris and you support Tulsi, you put the money behind her so she can make these debates, so she can call out some of the stuff that's going on in the DNC. And she did that, right? Kamala Harris lost a lot of smoke when Tulsi came for her, right? That's political. That's just politics in general. Like, that's how the game works, right? If Marianne Wilson wasn't on the debate stage as long as she was, the conversation of reparations probably would have never came up, right? She was used, right? So if you are, like, I think the Advise show or whatever his name is now, he was saying, let's put money behind her, blah, 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 blah. And people were speaking against that. But I'm like, well, if she's the only one speaking about your issue, you want her up there as long as you possibly can have her up there, because she'll bring your issues to the forefront. Even if she can't get it done, she's still going to force the other politicians to actually address it. Even though we saw sometimes when her mic got cut when she was talking about reparations, things of that nature. But I'm just saying, people got to think more politically in how the game works than just being in their feelings. No, I don't think a bunch of conservatives are going to vote for her. Because she's not even going to be the nominee. Like, that's the funny thing about it. She's not even going to make it, right? She's at 2% right now. She's not going to be the nominee. So that doesn't even matter. It's not even really a question. We just say that in theory, yeah, we like her, just to troll liberals because we know they don't like her, right? And now, one thing I like about Tulsi is she's exposing the media, the corporate Democrats, the corruption of Hillary, the whole DNC, right? So if you don't know, what happened was Tulsi was like the rising star, right? She's female, veteran, well, currently still serving, congresswoman, Hawaiian, so she's not white. And that's something usually the Republicans would love to put forth and say, boom, look what we got on our team. So Democrats thought they had that. Like, oh, we got this. She could probably be a possible good VP pick in the future. You know, served in the military, all that good shit. She saw what was going on in the DNC under Mr. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And she decided, like, you know what? Y'all cheating Bernie. And then as soon as she stepped down, she's like, I'm supporting Bernie. Right? I remember that just like yesterday. She did that shit in 2016. She exposed the corruption in the Democratic Party. She, you know, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and the other lady, the black lady who took over for her, who was fired from CNN, her as well. She exposed a lot of that shit, right? And then ever since that, she's been like an outsider amongst the Democrats, right? So think about this. All the people in the media are without, you know, they're just, you know, making these accusations of her being this Russian asset and this and that. But this is the person y'all picked to be y'all VP of the DNC. Y'all picked her. Y'all was going to put her on front and put her on, and she's a rising, shining star, and she's going to be our it girl until she exposed y'all and said, no, I'm not rolling with this team. So that even looks more bad on you if y'all picked a so-called Russian asset to be the leader of your team, right? But what again, the things I like about Tulsi is that she's exposing YouTube and Google, same thing, Facebook even, more so YouTube and Google, because they're the ones that are like, she's suing them because they clearly are messing with her channel. And even with her Google searches after the election the one night, she was like the #1 Google, and they did things to affect that. And it's like, this is the biggest thing I have, right? So I'm watching black people get into this McCarthyism like behavior where they're like, you know how that was back in what was that, in the late 60s, early 70s, the whole McCarthyism thing, right? Like, everybody's just being accused of that and getting destroyed by the FBI and whatnot. Well, black folks are participating in that same behavior, and I'm confused at why we would even not just step back and say, wait a minute, if Google is shutting down her account or messing with her account or taking her views away or demonetizing certain things, if they're taking her Google searches away, if they're doing that to a person that's currently, you know, serving in the military, fighting for their country, if she's a current sitting congresswoman, right, and then The View and Roland and all the other liberal media outlets, CNN, Bakari Sellout, Jason, I forgot the other dude, Jason, who's on MSNBC all the time, they're going around all black media outlets. They're saying Russian asset, this and that, without any proof, right? They're accusing a sitting congressperson of basically espionage and treason, right? Those are real accusations. If she were to do that, she could, you know, the Constitution says she can be killed. So you're making all these accusations about her. If they could do that to her, what do you think they could do to you? That's the most thing that's the most important thing we should take from all this, is that if they're doing it, if they're smearing her like that, what do you think they do to you about that, yo? That's real shit right there. And that's what I'm saying. Is like, but most black folks, most of the black liberal commentators have drunk the Kool-Aid. I remember even when Charlemagne, when when she did give Kamala the smoke, Charlamagne gonna say, well, she's just jealous because she's a low candidate and this and that. And then Kamala comes on TV the next day talking about, I'm a top tier candidate and that's why Tulsi came for me. And I didn't defend or reject any of her accusations, but I'm gonna just say it's because I'm a top tier candidate. Now we look at the polls. Kamala's polling at like 3% in a lot of polls, 5 in some, but she's down there with Tulsi now, right? So you were a top tier candidate, but just simple a rendition of your record over the years as AG of California. Now you're done. I seen this. She had a picture in a barbershop with a bunch of brothers. Kamala lock a Negro up. Harris, she's in a barbershop with a bunch of brothers trying to get that black base. Ironically enough, people have made a point that she's going to have to go to black men and talk to them in order to get her numbers up, because her having the white husband thing, which we're not supposed to talk about, is going to be an issue. Yeah, but now she's in a barbershop full of black men talking to them, right? But anyways, I think this whole situation is interesting to watch. I'm loving the people exposing themselves. I looking at black media, this is the thing, it bothers me a lot watching us play into this game and not being more savvy politically and understanding what they're doing to her could easily happen to all of us. Watching black folks repeat the rhetoric. I think it was either Black Voices or News One. Both of them did articles about it, but the black folks in their comment section talking about, well, Hillary didn't say no names on that podcast, so why she all hit dog hollering this and other nonsense? I'm like, every single political commentator on the left and the right have already acknowledged who she was talking about. It's not rocket science. Like, stop being obtuse, right? We want to play that dumbass game, right? You know who she's talking about. So, but you had Bakari Sellout go on CNN and say it, and then you had and they're joking and laughing about this, but I'm like, y'all joking and laughing about a current congressperson being a Russian asset or being groomed by the Russians. Like, even if you want to say not indirectly or not directly but indirectly, say that then. Say she could be used indirectly, like the same way politics works. You put your money and resources behind somebody, you're not going to support them, not going to vote them, but you know that if they get enough popularity, they can cause dissension amongst the ranks. Say that then. Be honest about that. Instead of going out with these all-out accusations like Hillary did in her podcast. Hillary's upset because she exposed how the DNC was cheating for her, right? So she got a bone to pick with Tulsi. And to say what she said in the, like she's doing what Obama kind of did, where she's talking too much from, the back seat, and she's making it harder for the Democrats that are actually running, because she's bringing up stuff that you saw Andrew Yang and a few others had to defend Tulsi. Because, like, yo, why are you doing this? Like, why are you accusing a person that's serving their country right now, that skipped the debate to go deploy over to Afghanistan? Like, you making these accusations. When you were Secretary of State, you were over there, Benghazi and Libya, and slave trades going over there right now. So we saw what your legacy has done and what you've done when you've been in a position of power in your foreign policy. We know what yours looks like. Now, Tulsi's looks different. But yeah, we're not voting for Tulsi. Right? We're not voting for her. Right? She's not even going to be a factor to be the vote. And it's funny because Sonny on The View has made several accusations against her. Sonny didn't like it when Kamala got her ass whooped the first time by Tulsi over her record, and she was saying things like she's a Trojan horse and this and that. I'm like, you can't just say those things about current sitting people like unanimously without coming with evidence and proof. Again, be clearer and say there might be Russian stuff following her or boasting her or commenting on her behalf. Say that. Don't accuse her of doing something that she's clearly denied doing, right? That's just disingenuous and that's misleading. That's that McCarthyism bullshit. And again, black folks, if they're doing that to her, you have no chance. If they're getting away with doing that to her, there's no chance of any black leader or politician coming up that goes against the grain of the DNC. Let it be a black politician that's a Democrat, that's blue dog, that might garner support from all sides and different people, and they may be traditionally for traditional families, and they may be pro-gun, and they may be school choice, you know what I mean? And they understand the problems of illegal immigration. Watch, and they do support reparations, but watch how, because they won't go with the Democratic establishment or they're outsider, right? Which Clarence Thomas made it clear that there will never be a black politician of color, that would make it that far without the media approving of him first, right? So that won't happen. So I just answered my own question. That won't even happen because they won't even let him get on the platform. I just remember the one dude that's running from Florida. He was like, he didn't even make it to the first debate, I don't think. He just made it to that fish fry thing in California with Kleinberg. And you know what I mean? I didn't, I wouldn't vote for him again. But again, he was saying some things when he was on the Breakfast Club I thought was good. But I said to myself, like, bruh, you too dark skinned to be winning a Democratic nominee for anything. They like their black people mixed or passing. They like their black people biracial. So you being an authentic or, a full-blooded black man, even though he's not a DOS, you're not going to go far with the Democratic Party, right? That's a different conversation. That's just my rant. Yeah, Tulsi is getting, what was happening to her is amazing because it's exposing a lot of things, and you have a lot of right. And again, this is how the game works because, she's getting, the liberals aren't giving her the same shots, right? If you think about it, people said, why would she go to Fox to talk? Well, because they're giving her ample airtime. When CNN and MSNBC weren't giving her the airtime, and not to mention CNN and MSNBC are calling her a Russian asset. So why would she go there to where Tucker Carlson, who also, like a lot of Republicans, agree with her policy on foreign policy on not going to these ridiculous wars that cost so much money that we can't pay for. Our economy could be thriving and we could be winning if we never went to the Iraq war. Like we could be thriving, have our infrastructure fixed, finally have a real train that could compete with China, going to the moon. All this shit could be done had it not be for the trillions of dollars we wasted on the Iraq war. It's at almost 18, 19 years now. So any politician that supports that policy, Democrats on the right, Democrats, mainstream, and liberals, Democrats and Republicans who are war hawks and they get kickbacks from these weapon manufacturer companies, these defense contract companies, they're going to attack you. It's just that simple. If you come with an anti-war rhetoric, and you can even see it with Trump when he slipped out and made that point, but then he backtracks because it's like, yo, it is hard to do that. That's a hard place to be in when you know that there's so many people who support you financially on that end who support these wars. But you gotta listen to the people because the people are the ones who are going to go out there and vote for you. You might not get the bread from these other people no more, but you're going to get the voice of the people. And it's sad to see so many black folks, you would think, who would be more anti-war than anybody would be black folks after what Vietnam did to us, how many black men it wiped out, how many black men came home and got hooked on heroin because of the psychological damage of being in the war. Like, you would think we'd be the first people, what war does to us, not going to war and not being able to come home and get our GI Bills like other groups have. Like, you would think we'd be the first people to stand there and say, you know what, we shouldn't be over there minding our damn business. But we're not. We've fallen for the okie doke. We up here like Bakari Sellout, talking about she's a Russian asset, or Jason Johnson, his bitch ass on MSNBC, right? You got, he was on Karen Hunter's show saying that. So we're up here repeating the same rhetoric that the mainstream media is repeating, and we're engaging in the same McCarthyism-like behavior to where every single person, and I'm saying the black folks who, they did the same thing to black folks who are subscribing to the ADOS ideology, right? How many Malcolm Nancy, Jason Johnson, all these people attacking black people because they have a voice and they want to say, I want to support this issue, that issue. Reparations is important to me. Tangibles 2020. They're accusing you of being Trump supporters, which it's not a bad thing, right? You do what you want to do, right? But you're accusing you of doing things because you won't stay in line and just do and vote for whoever they want to put forth and give you the vote for, right? That's what it simply boils down to. But I'm going on to a rant now. That's my video. Look out what's going on with Tulsi. I think if she keeps polling at 3, 4, 5%, she will be able to make the next debate. See who she smokes out next time. Hillary Clinton needs to go away. She's not helping the Democratic Party, and it's just sad watching many people in the media who are black political commentators co-signing this efforty and not using their thinking caps and not thinking like, if they're doing this to her, what do you think they could do to us? Like, we're not gonna make accusations without proof and evidence. And if we are going to make an accusation, we're going to be clear and say, Joey Behar said she's a useful idiot. Like, what? Come on now. Yeah, yes. A third-party spoiler, if that's what you want to call it, which I don't believe in that logic. If the people say we want to support this candidate, that's who they want to support. They don't have to support your candidate. And the funny thing about all of this is, you know what the kicker is? If Tulsi were to run third party, what she says she's not, right? Who would benefit the most from that, right? If, say, Elizabeth Warren is running, and Tulsi's running, Trump, right? And then a third party candidate like Tulsi came up out of nowhere. Who benefits from that? Not Donald Trump. Because the argument is that Tulsi is garnering support from the right, right? And again, see how they do the same thing? They said she's getting support from David Duke and she's getting support from the alt-right and this and that. But it's a political game. They're basically, so if a person who you don't even mess with, right, they just support you because whatever reason, you don't even mess with them. But because they have a negative connotation behind who they are, you're somehow going to be held accountable for them supporting you, even if you denounce them. But because they're attracted to you for whatever reason, that's a problem for you now, right? That's a political game, right? For example, if I was a KKK, Ku Klux Klan member, I would support every Democratic policy because it creates dependency. You know, if you look at any major inner city, what they're doing there, as far as education goes, as far as Chicago, New York, California, black folks, minorities can't afford to live there. They're leaving, going to the South. Like, if I were on some that, I would vote Democrat because they don't do shit for you. Like, it doesn't make any sense to not. Like, voting Democrat will have you further dependent on a state. It won't encourage you to be more economically independent and more. I know this is a crazy word for all the Yvette Carnell followers, but you got to do more for self. Being dependent upon the state historically has not benefited black people, right? We know what it looked like before we were dependent upon the state. Our marriage rate, our wedlock rate, black unemployment was low, black marriage was rate, black families in the household was better. We know all those things existed before we became dependent on the state in 1960. So all the people like Yvette who talk about we need government to protect us and government got to do this and government got to do that, there's some validity in that, but the last 50, 60 years have showed us that our dependency on government has not really benefited us as a collective. I'm out.